Today on What It's Like, 1941 Hudson Woody Wagon. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that gives you all of the background information on all the cool cars that never get talked about. We cover the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars. This channel is home to the orphan cars and cars that tend to get lost to time. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Today, we are back at Old Spokes in Kuhnstown, Pennsylvania, which is home to the largest Hudson Museum. The museum consists of two buildings, one of which was an old Maxwell dealership. The other one was an old Ford dealership. This place is totally awesome. Very cool place. If you're ever in the area, be sure to check it out. I believe the museum is by appointment only. All of the information will be linked in the description below. Be sure to check it out after the show. 1941 Hudson model lineup. Hudson offered three wheelbase options in 1941. The Traveler and the Deluxe rides a 116-inch wheelbase, followed by the Super 6, which rides a 121-inch wheelbase. The Commodore rides two wheelbases. It could either be on a 121-inch wheelbase or a 128-inch wheelbase, depending on what model you chose. Hudson offered the Super 6 clear back in 1916 and produced it until 1928. They took a bit of a break when they brought the Essex in as a brand and brought the Super 6 back in 1940 and produced it until 1951, being replaced by the Hudson Wasp in 1952. Hudson Super 6 could be had as a coupe, club coupe, two-door sedan, four-door sedan, convertible, and wagon. It's important to note that the wagons could be had in either Super 6 or Commodore 8, but ride the same wheelbase regardless. Wooden bodies of the wagons were built by J.T. Cantrell of Huntington Station, New York. It's important to note that Hudson offered commercial vehicles as well during this time period, like the big boy pickup trucks and delivery vans. I wonder how rare the delivery vans are, because this is the first advertisement piece that I saw with a delivery van, much like an international metro van. Very interesting. 1941 was essentially a carryover body design that started back in 1940. So going to compare the 39 on top, 41 on the bottom, starting in the front. Two totally different designs. Not just the design, but even look at the shapes are different. Lights have been relocated to inside the fenders on the 41 versus the 39s are mounted on the side of the hood. 39 uses a butterfly hood, whereas the 41 is a single piece hood that opens up clamshell style. 41 has Hudson script on the hood, whereas the 39 doesn't. Just look at how different these shapes are. The fenders are completely different. The 39 fenders are rounder and have fender skirts, whereas the 41 doesn't have fender skirts, but it could have been an option. 41 has fender trim that isn't found on the 39. Both of these designs have the roof chopped look from the factory. Do you guys see it? It almost looks like the roof should be a little bit taller. Looking at these two rear designs, it's very interesting that the 41 only has a single brake light, whereas in 39 it has two separate brake lights. 41 also has split bumpers, whereas the 39 has a single bumper. And the 41 has a spare tire on the back, whereas the 39 doesn't. Also notice how the roofs are made. They're totally different. Moving inside and taking a look at the dash, 41, everything is in line. It's very LaSalle-like, whereas the 39 is more traditional. Which one do you like better? In the comment section below. Let's talk specs. 200 inches long, 68.8 inches tall, 77 inches wide. It rides a wheelbase of 121 inches. It weighs 3,400 pounds. Price, $1,383, which is equivalent to you spending $28,303.52 in the year 2023. That is almost equivalent to buying a basement model Subaru Outback. Total 1941 Hudson production was 79,529 units, of which total wagon production was 100. There is said to only be about 6 of these left in existence, making it super rare. Moving on to engines, only one engine on offer. 212 cubic inch displacement, flathead 6, 3.5 liters. It's good for 102 brake horsepower at 4,000 RPM with a bore of 3 inches and a stroke of 5 inches. Compression is 6.5 to 1. 3 main bearings. It's built of an aluminum alloy and can be backed with either a 3-speed synchromesh transmission or a 3-speed synchromesh transmission with optional overdrive.
Let's talk styling. Look at how these bumpers are designed. It's really cool how it's just, and it also curves in a little bit like that. Check out the bezels on these headlights, how they're teardrop shaped. Also the marker lights right above them, how they're like right on top of the fenders. Just look at this style, how it comes to a point here. Look at how far up the nose is from the fenders. Fenders sit way down here. That's almost, I'd say maybe a foot difference, maybe a little bit more than a foot. And how the Hudson strip comes in here. It's almost, it's not straight on, it's at an angle. It looks like a butterfly if you look straight down. Coming around the side, look at how pronounced these fenders are. Also check out this trim here. There's a lot of nice interesting lines going on everywhere. Look somewhere else and there's something to see. Just check out how these wooden doors are constructed. This is a real woodie wagon. We've seen some, only 6 left. We've seen some painted simulated wood, but this is the real deal here. Look at how the wood comes up. You can see how it's all nicely pieced together. Somebody really, that's the difference between then and now. They had craftsmen back then. Not saying that there isn't craftsmen now, just saying that your work meant something. It wasn't done by a computer, and it still shows. Here's what over the steering wheel would look like. And here's what first person over the steering wheel would look like.
On to the button switches and knobs, gasoline gauge, speedometer, coolant temperature, ignition, starter, radio, headlights, amp meter, and oil pressure are idiot lights on the glove box door. Clock is in between the idiot lights of the amp meter and the oil pressure gauge located on the glove box door.
So here's what the back door panel looks like. Notice it doesn't have an armrest or anything like that. It has a nice cutout part for the wheel arch. Just notice all of the wood and how everything is built. Looking inside, look, there's like a half seat so you can get to the rear seat, but that's not even the most impressive part. The most impressive part is look at that roof. You know, Rolls-Royce might have the lights in the ceiling, but this is so much better than that. So that's what the dashboard looks like from sitting in the back. And that's what over the hood looks like. So just notice this hood opens up clamshell style. I would have never guessed it. And just look at how all the hinges and the springs work. Notice the engine sits kind of sort of midship in relationship to the space. Kind of sits midship in relationship to the space. It sits way back here. The radiator's right there, and then there's all this space in front.
On the positive side, good investment, built solid, looks good, decent performance. Against it, rare, so body parts are gone now. With only 100 made, there's only 6 known to survive. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather? Steak or chicken? Paper or plastic? 2 scenarios today. 1941 Pontiac Woodie or 1941 Hudson Woodie or 1941 Mercury Woodie. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Moving on to the second scenario. 1939 Hudson Woodie Wagon or 1941 Hudson Woodie Wagon or 1948 Hudson Woodie Wagon. All right, now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give me both the correct name of the band and song title. First person to do both correctly will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. And honestly, that's the easiest way to get a hold of me is find me on Facebook and send me a message there. If you don't have Facebook and would like to talk to me one-on-one, shoot me an email. All of that will be in the description below. Just know I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, here are some scenes for our next episode. 1940 Cadillac Series 72 sedan. That's what's coming up next on What It's Like. Tune in tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time to catch that episode. And until then, toodaloo!
1575.
I go $1,300.
1550.
$1,300. I mean,
I can't do.
I wanted more.